And as we've talked about before, I really think we have lost our way in terms of capitalism in this country. And if you go back, this is a big, way stepping back view of what's going on. We have gone from the 1950s and 60s. The idea was that great companies served a couple of different constituencies.
Right.
They served their customers with products, they served their shareholders with good returns, and they served their employees with good wages that you can live on. You have a real life based on it. We've now, the pendulum swung all the way the other way. It is the only constituency that matters is shareholders. You have to maximize profits every quarter. It's the stock price or you're fired. It's just crazy, and we are hollowing out the economy. And it is wonderful to finally see some companies like Aetna, like Apple, pay their lower paid employees more voluntarily just so they don't have to be poor while working full time for the company.
And it's good for their business because, if you reward your employees, they're less likely to leave, and turnover is a very difficult thing for any company to deal with. So the author of this op-ed, I do want to talk about this. I believe it's Ruchir Sharma is how you pronounce his name. He is the head of emerging markets and global macro at Morgan Stanley Investment Management. Fair to say he is a capitalist, right? And one of the things he points at as evidence of this comeback is Morgan Stanley's What Consumers Want research, which in 2013, the most wanted item was a private jet. Last year, in 2014, it was used cars and trucks. So he's saying this is a sign that the average consumer is on the comeback trail. So let's hope he's right about that.
What's missing here? Our corporations have the highest profits in history. Highest in history. They keep going up because we get this cost pressure. There's still this idea that there's some law of capitalism that you pay people only as much as you absolutely have to and not a penny more. We've got to move past that, back to this concept of it's much more holistic, companies benefiting three constituencies, and give people a raise. That is what will bring the middle class roaring back, and you alluded to it earlier, the whole Henry Ford idea of, okay, wages are $2 a day,
right.
We're going to pay our people $5 a day. People say, oh, he did that so they could buy the cars, he's such an altruist. That's not true. He did it actually to stem huge turnover.
Turnover is a huge problem.
Get better people, keep them in. But again, some of our best and most profitable companies, Walmart, McDonald's, you have people who work full time for the company, dedicating their lives to it, and they are poor.
Yes, and there's all this software that helps managers keep people from reaching a certain threshold of hours where they would, let's say, get health care or be eligible for overtime or all these other things. And that is part of this culture of we got to micromanage to the penny what our expenses are as opposed to thinking about the bigger picture and what it means for your employees to be able to make a living wage.
That's right. And the reason this is really important to the economy is the middle class is everybody's customers. There actually aren't that many private jet dealers. Okay, maybe they're getting rich last year because all the hedge fund guys are buying new G6s, I guess is the new one that everybody wants. But the middle class is what buys the most stuff day in, day out. And so if we are trying to get our economy accelerating again, you got to give customers money. And ultimately, customers are the people who work for a living, who we are trying to just scrimp down to as little as possible, as opposed to just sharing. And you say that word and people are like, oh, you're obviously a socialist. It's a bunch of crap. Has